Normally, you don't look at the delta of such a deep in the money. For example, let's think about that $5 put. Now, $5 call is a much lower leverage, but now it's the money. The more in the money an option is, the less leverage speculation instrument it is. On the other hand, with puts, the less the money it is, or more out of the money, the more leveraged it is. You would only look at those if you're doing this for speculation purposes. You're basically betting that price is going to go up or down, but on a leverage basis. It's always a good idea to figure out, okay, what's my implied leverage? At least locally. The actual leverage with gap movements is going to be much different. For example, if the price goes up to 847, let's go back to 15, it's 87 cents, right? If it goes up to 847, that's 1 over 747. That's actually a 13% move. But if it goes to 847, it's a 41% increase. It's a leverage of 3.4. The local leverage is only 271. So the more gap the movement is, the more is the implied leverage. So let's make a $5 move to 1247. Well, $5 is going to be about 67% move, but value of the option went up by 272%. So implied leverage is actually 4. That means if the price goes up by $5, it's as if you invested your money, somebody else invested 3 more for you, and you made 67% on the $4. Okay? Or 67 times 4 on your original investment of 1. See how quickly things move? That's the beauty of the options. Now, I'm going to kind of get things started. There are other so-called Greeks that we're going to worry about in an option portfolio. Counterpart is simple. If the underlying price changes just a little, what portion of that price movement would be reflected in the option price? About 34 in this case. And we also calculated. Let's go to 747. 33. You may not be using the same sigma. Oh, I bought the 87. Thank you. I should have bought the 87. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Now I own 2 contracts. That 86 is also me, by the way. I'm trying to build a portfolio as the market hopefully is coming down. Because at some point, over the next year or so, this AI business is going to explode. That's my view. So given my view, this is actually not a bad idea. I would have done even a higher strike price, but a higher one is not available. So I know that if price goes up to roughly, let's say, where is it now? 745, if it goes to 755, I should expect an increase of about 3.5 cents. It says on increments of 1 cent, so let's say 3 or 4. So 745, delta is 33, 755, 89.67. It's about 3.5 cents. Sometimes, especially if you're a market maker, you actually want to write the options yourself, out of nowhere. I mean, Robinhood would not allow you to do it, but Robinhood itself is actually an active market maker. Of those 76 contracts that's on the offer for 97 cents, you can pretty much assume at least 70 is right on. They make most of their money from option trading because they don't run a commission, and they make some money from margin lending. Right now, if you're gold members, they pay you 4% on their money. If you have any cash you haven't used. But if you use margin, they charge you 7%. So they make a split of it. Plus, they can't use client money. They can always borrow. I would be extremely surprised if they pay anything more than 4.5%. But bulk of their money comes from market making and options. If somehow I decided that this was a good investment, I just want to buy 76 contracts. All I have to do is say buy at the market. So 97 times 76, that's a lot of money. About $7,000, $7,200. Okay. I put in $7,200, I got it. Now, Robinhood has a problem. They wrote 76 call options. That means if and when I decide to use my right and go to Robinhood and say, I am exercising, they are required, as a writer of the option, to sell me 7,600 shares as long as I pay them $15 per share. Okay? Obviously, they know that I'm not going to do it if the price is not greater than 15. But 2 years is a lot of time in, tech time. Tech time, 6 months is all. And if it's $30, if they haven't done nothing, that means take it right. You don't do anything to cover your risk. And that is a very dangerous thing to do unless you know what the hell you're doing. So, question is, should they go ahead and buy 7,600 shares? If and when it goes above 15, they're going to be covered. Trouble is, if it doesn't go above 15, what are you going to do with those 100 shares? Okay, you're going to sell them, but what if 2 years from now it's below 745? That happened. If it's at $5, you lost 2.5 times 7,600 dollars. That's a lot of money. So you need to figure out the exact a better hedge. Typically, the amount that you hedge is using the delta. It's called delta hedge. But small price movements. If you sold one contract, so if I sold 100 contracts, 100 times the delta, or 10,000, that's equal to 10,000 shares. So if I buy 3,400 44 shares. The price moves only a small amount. I bought that many shares, but I'm short, and I wrote one option. The value of my total portfolio, change in the value of my portfolio is zero. So very small movements. The trouble is that delta doesn't stay constant. To give you an example, currently at 745, the delta is 33. It went up to $10, delta became 48. That means for a gap movement like that, you're underhedged. You simply do that delta. So you need to do something about delta of the delta itself. And that's called the gamma. Gamma is always positive, whether it's a put option or a call option. And if you're doing delta hedging, and if you don't worry about gamma, and the price moves by big amounts left and right, you're going to get whiplash. Okay? If every time price goes up, your delta goes up, which means you have to buy. Let's say price went up to $8 today. Delta went up to $36.50. So on that 100 shares, 100 contract, I have to increase my number of shares to 36.59. It's 34.40. So that's 200 shares more, right? So I'm going to buy 200 shares more at $8. The price immediately goes back down to 7.5. I have to sell those additional 200. But at 7.5. It goes up again, I have to increase delta. Goes down, I have to decrease delta. But each time I do it, I lose money. So I need something in my portfolio that also has gamma. The stock itself only has a delta. Delta of a stock is 100%. Delta of a short is negative 100%. But if I include another option in my portfolio, then I can do something called delta gamma hedging. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And I can do a portfolio where I basically delta and gamma move. So I don't have to worry about it that much. And we will also think about the theta. It's how much the value of the option will change by passing over $1. So that's 0.17 for 100 contract, 100 shares at 17 cents. So I buy something at $87. If nothing else changes, tomorrow that option is going to trade at 87 or 86. Options by their nature are decaying instruments, especially out of the money options. As they get closer and closer to maturity, if they stay out of money, the chances of finishing in the money gets less, which means nobody's going to pay you that much. We'll talk about these later. This is about the role of the interest rates, and this is about the role of volatility. Okay. I'm going to stop here today. Make sure start playing with that template. Next class, we're going to actually have the same template, but I'm not going to go through all those formulas. We're going to write a function in Excel, VBA, that you can call whenever you want. Because right now, if you want to change something, you can do it, but if you wanted to do a table of option prices, the different strike prices, you're going to have to do, let's say, 10 of them, 10 of these sheets. Well, instead of doing that, you're going to go ahead and write a VBA function that we can call ourselves, and in that function, we're gonna actually have the price for the call, price for the foot, the deltas, gammas, vegas, whatever. And we're gonna hit one return, it's gonna actually create a 6x2 array, and have the price and grease and other stuff for calls and puts. That way I'm gonna show you how to use array valued functions. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And next Wednesday, this Wednesday, let's talk about who's gonna be in what group. Then next Monday, you're gonna start our investment simulation. But we'll do the groups on Wednesday.